welcome, Overwatch fans. We are here. We are back. Little WSSEA action coming at you. I'm FBI Tugboat. Here's my man Sohav Dan. I'm Sohav. How are we feeling on the day?
It's good to be back for yet another incredible week of Overwatch. And we got a banger coming up for this week 4 matchup. We got the Canvas Papermakers versus the John R. Rogers Pirates. Both these teams undefeated. Papermakers, well, they took home all the paper last season because they were the last season's winners. So I'm genuinely looking forward to see what they bring. Because if that's our defending champions, I want to see what the pinnacle of this league look like. I'm looking for a stellar performance them, and I want to see them continue to make a statement going into this next season.
100% agreed. 100% agreed. Once again, that's Kamas and John R. Rogers going in undefeated 3-0. And as you mentioned here, so this would be some fine Overwatch coming up here in just a little bit. I was sick. I was sick last week. I hope you guys had some fantastic action without me.
It was good. We missed you, but we had some good coverage. But, it's good to have you back. It's good. It feels like home. It feels right.
Absolutely. We're obviously here in week 4 now. We had teams that were 2-0 fighting each other and whatnot, trying to go forth to see who is going to do best on the Overwatch. Week 5. Yeah, week 5. Sorry, obviously, because
week 5. Yeah,
exactly.
Last week was like 4. Yes.
Yeah. I was doing the math there. I was doing the caster math, and never turns out well. So point is, teams that are 3-0 now. This is starting to really be 2-0. Oh, we're undefeated. Okay, yeah, you won 2 games. 3 games now. A little bit of a different story here. So both of these teams going to try and preserve that perfect streak coming into this week number 5 once again. And I'm really, really excited to see which of these teams is going to come out on top.
Yeah, like you said, this is a really important point because we're coming up to that, we're past that midpoint. This is an 8-week season, so we're looking at the point of, once you get closer to 8 week and when you start getting cut of playoffs, the longer you can give yourself, this undefeated streak, the more wins you can tack on will just give you a higher seed as we get to the bottom of everything. So you really want to make sure, this is the crunch time now. Now we're hit the point where every single game and every single map matters. So both of these teams really, if we don't see an overtime map, I'd be genuinely impressed here.
Yeah, especially given that we're going to be doing our traditional first to 2, right? So maximum 3 maps. We'll be doing the push, hybrid, escort. Then we'll have a tiebreaker after that. Obviously, given that tiebreakers or sides are still technically possible within the great game Overwatch 2. Big shout out to Landfest and everybody involved for kind of having those situations still prepared for and whatnot. Before we talk a little bit more about these teams, so I want to talk about one of the organizations that make broadcasts just like this possible. Of course, right down there. That is Seattle-built PCs, folks. Seattle-built PCs. We did get confirmed as well. They ship to anywhere in the U.S. as well as Canada. So, folks, if you're looking for some fine computer parts at not a crazy break-back type price point, Seattle-built PCs is exactly where you go, and that is ultimate performance, one-of-a-kind aesthetics, and with small business value. Again, those Seattle-built PCs, believe they're over there obviously, in the great city of Seattle.
In Seattle, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, like you said, now it's now that we know it confirmed, it's anywhere in the U.S. And hey, I don't know about y'all, but I need to take and Canada, I need to set my game up. So definitely love supporting those smaller businesses. But the other thing I do want to see, like we were talking about, is these teams step up for this first push map, which is Esperanza. This is the newer mode. This is the one that people are scrimming a little bit more. This is almost the preferred push map in a lot of ways too, for a lot of teams. But I'm really going to be watching because this is for longtime players. This is one of the newer modes. So how much have you been scrimming? What strategies do you have here? This is the one place you can get away with some of those deeper concepts if you are a championship team. You can get those dive concepts coming. So I really do want to see what both of these top tier teams are going to bring because they're continuing to win undefeated. They really got to step up and show that they are coming for the crown.
Exactly. And literally right now, not just against this other squad that's undefeated, but right now in week 5, now, once this week is over with, we're officially more than halfway over with this season, folks. Right now is really where the afterburners need to be turned on and cruised all the way in to that postseason. As far as compositions, you mentioned just how wonky, how new this map can kind of be, the game mode as well. Do we have any predictions as far as attacking or defending compositions here, Sohav?
So on the higher end of everything, a lot of the pros, a lot of the the top end players love to play dive here. I don't know that we're going to see that. I would love to see some of that because I do think that your super mobile characters, your Winstons, Divas, Tracers, your Widowmakers even still have so much value they can get. But this is high school, so I really do expect to see what is most comfortable. And I think I see on that blue squad, I see a Ryan comp, which is exactly what I would expect. It's the easiest entry point for most of our easy teamwork, really easy to kind of get the team to move as a ball, make sure we're all focusing on one target. It's how you really get value out of those fundamentals. So I am going to be watching, for these comps to come out. I do also I see a Diva, I see a little bit of a Divey. It's a little bit more defensive over there on our red side. So, I like this. This is a very aggressive death ball versus a very defensive kind of dive poke comp, and I'm really curious to see. My biggest concern right now is I see Anna Zenyatta, and Zenyatta is very exploitable, very easy to run down with that Lucio, so we're going to have to watch how these support lines interact with each other.
Yeah, very, very much so. The Zenyatta here obviously opted for that added over the side. That's a Diva down early. Nice charge as well. Kamas has come out. They're fighting foot forward here, Soav.
Yeah, this is a dangerous comp. This is a very high damage comp between the Symmetra, the Bastion. Yeah, Bastion took some hits, but he is still just a beast. It's going to be so important for Dragoon to make sure they're timing their defensive matrix for when the wheels are brought out, because that is your only real tool to stop Storm from getting value with that.
Speaking of Storm, showing up in the kill feed yet again. That's going to be so taken out first and yielding a change here. Karma now switching on over to that Brig. This Symmetra go burr like the microwave here. Soav, nicely placed shot here on the end. Zev going to be taking out the big main tank on the other side. Karma coming through and providing a little bit of value already. Zev deciding to get on out of that one. That is probably for the best, Soav.
Yeah, that's 1,000% the best. You got the value, you got 45 meters, and that's the best it's going to be. I do love these adaptations coming in from the Pirates, though. I love the Sombra coming in, the Kiriko, and the Brig are so durable with the backline, and I really do think that you'll be able to find so much more value. I love Soy playing for picks here. I think this is a great way to distract this death ball and really pull the attention, because that is how you're going to find success, is just force them to look in different ways.
Yeah, and really play down to your level wherever you're comfortable with getting this one done. Real now, here comes the window out early. James gonna be able to take out 2, make it 3. That is, wow, that is 2 DPS and a tank. That's about as good as it's gonna get.
That's the best it's going to get, and that was it was pretty free. That's the thing about Reinhardt. Shatter will stun you, and there's nothing really in the way on the other side to get in the way of it, so that'll have to be, it's just kind of the way it is. I see a wall coming up for Camus. I see artillery. There's a defensive up. I do like that versus the self-destruct versus the Bob. You're going to really have to watch for that. Never mind, the Bob's gone, so that's a good go button.
No bueno, and once again the Diva just not paying attention to the main tank in this huge source of offensive damage in Storm. John R. Rogers, the Pirates, and get their ship sunk on this offensive attempt.
I think that's the thing that really stands out to me is James is very fearless in regards to this. He knows that his team is there. He's feeling able to go in. He's not shield up all the time, and he's really just able to do that.
Here you go, once again, James Storm combining for 2, main tank, main healer, both Dunzo. John R. Rogers, be wise to get on out while the getting is good right here. This is not a re-engage type situation, excuse me. Zev finding something right there, got a Bob out as well. Karma falling to a well-placed fire strike, but this is still gonna come up, all Kamas, all the time.
It was a bit of an investment from both sides. You did spend 2 of your 4 ultimates. I mean, you're coming into that Storm's going to give up the Bastion, realize it's probably not necessary here. And the Ramatra swap on the opposite side I also do like as well. I think the Ramatra just gives you a little bit more a defensive play and a little bit more control versus the Reinhardt, who has to very all in on their physical attacks. You have EMP, you have both of your support ultimates for the side of the Pirates. I think you can take this fight.
Hammer is down, James up, down bottom, excuse me. Here comes a nice hack. There's the immortality field. So he's going to get a lot of value on that. They go forth and get out. Now switch over to a different tank, but the result stays the same here for Kamas.
Yeah, it was not. I mean, it was not to get in the way of Revel. I mean, Revel just was able to defend themselves, and that is sometimes the hardest thing, is to make sure you complete the pick. Yeah, you got Immortality Field out, but on the meantime, James was just out there just free shattering into people. So really focusing that target selection for the side of the Pirates is going to give yourselves a lot. I will say though, I am impressed by our previous winners here in Camus. They look very strong.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. The Reinhardt composition, on face value, might seem like something of the past, but they are making that thing sing well. Dragoon gonna face way too much damage there and early. That is off the back of a Okuzen speed boost. As Lucio made myself, always gotta love watching the Lucios make plays like that one. Entirely possible.
And the Lucio is really one of the key elements to this, too. Oh, that's such a late stagger into Karma, but this could punish James here. It looks like he will get the safety, but yeah. I mean, Lucio is arguably the most important part of this comp. Speed and the ability to kind of close the gap and find a target is so important. Here's the...
Here it comes.
No, they didn't even... Okay, they caught 5.
Wow, yeah, got all 5 right here, but oh, teammates not fully in position. There's a shatter onto the opposing tank and finds nada, zilch, nada, 0 with it. Tuna gonna continue to pour attention onto Dragoon. That'll be enough. Tuna to whips it around on over to the Soldier 76. Even with Karma with a big shield and that rally up, that's not gonna be enough. TNH trying to come out and make this a non-issue. Stall out a little bit, but that's not gonna be enough. A Sonic Blast away. Okuzen boosts him away, and the Paper Makers put one in for the books.
And pretty definitively at that. You don't see a lot of full completes to pushes in that regards, and a lot of it was at the back of James. James, again, maybe it's the knowledge that there's really nothing across from you. Maybe it's knowing you can swing, but I think it is also the awareness of that. Just look at knowing, like, I have my shatter up. I see 1 or 2. I know my team is with me. Look at how close they are. Look at the supports from the Lucio. Like, it was just very clear that they had worked on this comp. This is very clearly their comfort zone.
I'm fairly certain on the replay there that Reinhardt actually predicted where the Sombra was teleporting to and charged them for the 3rd kill right there. I just wanted to give shout outs to the Reinhardt on the other side. I believe that was James over there.
James.
For Kamas for the 9,000 IQ prediction right there.
Yeah.
Cannot agree more there, Sohav. It just seemed like there was a little bit of a technical difference going on here when you're talking about the coordination of these compositions. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kamas did not change off of anything all the way throughout.
No.
The Okuzen started on the Lucio, in on the Lucio. James
no, we swapped the Bastion out.
That's
Bastion
right.
For
yep.
the
Storm was on the Bastion originally. That's 100% correct. Bastion never a bad character to start off the push map with, especially like this when you have longer sidelines and whatnot. But the adaptation was there when necessary. It was wholesale switches over on the side of Jarnar Rogers.
To be fair, for the Pirates, like, that is a technically more difficult comp to play.
Oh, yeah.
It really does require a lot better communication, a lot more tougher, getting all the gears moving, positioning for everybody, make sure nobody gets caught out. So it is when it works, it's effective, but it is really difficult to make work, and that's no shade on that team. They played what they tried to play. They played it very well, all things considered. They weren't just losing every single fight. They were able to get stops in. The problem is just that, like as I noted, the Death Ball is a little bit of an easier comp to kind of put together. You stay as a unit, you move as a unit, Reinhardt shields, you wait for speed boost, you still have your sim, so you can even hyper rush, teleport onto the backlines as you need to, and it's just a little bit easier to find the value in that Death Ball comp.
100% agreed. Especially given where Sim sits now with just such, like you said, the microwave go burr up close, teleporters to get in and out as well. This is just a more well-rounded hero in something like this. When you're talking about close range damage, you pair it with a Bastion, you have some of the highest DPS output of a core group of DPS of 2 DPS players on a team right there that you're gonna find within the great game of Overwatch, nixing ultimates obviously. Moving on to Eichenwald here next. What is it exactly do you think that John R. Rogers needs to do to bring this one back, take a map of their own, and push this to a map number 3? So,
I think if you're the Pirates, it kind of just becomes stopping, getting a breath, and figuring out, all right, we saw exactly what they want to do, where they look really comfortable, and it's very likely they're going to run that back here. There's no reason to change off the Reinhardt. You do get so much value from that. Maybe you'll see 1 or 2 different DPS. We're eyeing the Hanzo, but I see a Pharah also. Like, Pharah pretty typically good here, but I see no reason for them to change off of anything. It was so successful, so you have to consider, let's play into that, and I like the adaptions of that. We're bringing in the Reaper. The Ashe is like good too. You know, Fire will still chip away a lot of damage if you can get over the Reinhardt shield, no problem. I do like the Ramattra and the Reaper. I think there's a lot of value to be had in that, and I think most of your success is going to come from stopping James. He is arguably the easiest that you can kind of get away with. On the other side, you know, it is going to be your Reinhardt. On the defense, I don't hate that. The Pharah is there. The Lifeweaver is an interesting pickup to all this. You don't have a Mercy, so I do like the ability to kind of make sure you can guard your Pharah in the air and also still be able to save the team. Oh, an early shot from Zev. That's huge, and that's a great shot.
Yeah, Karma would love to be able to up here and boost another one. There's a couple attempted shots. Zev has already shown what they can do. Put lead to the head here as they find way too much attention down bottom, and I gotta be nice charge. Nice charge. The fire strike on the end. This push might just with that be over and done with. So Dunzo, Reaper forced to get out away from the source of danger. You just put this hero down to 200. Oh my goodness. Sleep. Anti-grenade. And this is looking fine as wine for the Kamas Papermakers.
Worth noting for the Pirates, they did swap Soy over to the tank's position, so maybe there's a little bit more flexibility. Soy did look good. Not going to say they didn't look good on DPS, not going to say there was a weakness there, but it sounds like this was a very strategic decision. Zev going to pick up the Bastion. I do like this. I like this. You want to burst down. You need to get this Reinhardt isolated and burst on that shield. I think this is the main way you're going to do it. You also need an answer for the Pharah. It does both.
There's a Reaper now, a little bit of extra healing, but gonna get chased down at the end. Who saw Tuna that fast on land here, Sohav? You're gonna have to let me know. Tracer, backline right now, 90% to ultimate, which is basically there. Here comes a little justice from above. Storm getting incredibly aggressive with that one, with no support on the other side. You think something from the Ana, from the Lifeweaver, something. Maybe put James' shield up in front of it because James was about as low as the Pharah was.
Yeah. The purple is so big, and again, Camus just continues to just keep holding forward, keep pushing back. They're coming into their ults now. They already used Pulse Bomb, but I mean, I think the definitive statement here is that's the second or third fight in a row that they've won, and I think my question mark to that for the Pirates is, where are we going? Because I see us trying to push and immediately walk back, past trying to contest the point. We got to get a pick. We got to play for the picks here. If we're not going to, we're not going to be able to win by, pulling their attention here. We have to play for a pick, and that is a good first pick.
It was a fantastic first pick. No Lifeweaver ultimate available for you. That's a couple others on the back side. Main healer and tank taken out. This should just be a cakewalk on into point.
Yeah, that's what we were looking for. Like I said, play for the pick, wait for them to overextend and give a little too much, and capitalize on it. And that was the right decision for the John J. Rogers Pirates. They just finally waited until, there was a moment of to capitalize on. Tuna's still going to be buzzing around, but there's not going to be enough there, especially with 3 ultimates. I'm really watching this Annihilation. It's going to do so much, and I don't see a defensive across from them. So if Soy gets into a position where he can target multiple with this Annihilation, it should be a fight win.
Ooh, the immortality field is there, but Rael did not let that one go. Here comes the nano boost, and nobody is there. Even slept out of the source of danger right there. But Storm's going to come down, take advantage of that one on the other side. Still getting a little bit right there. All of this set up, and some of those made directly possible by this Rael playing Ana.
Ooh, that Ana has been. We've been quiet on them. They haven't been in the kill feed much, but man, those purples have been stellar. And we are going to push all the way to the door. James is playing super aggressively here. Yeah, the Ana in the back line has been phenomenal. Really just doing the best job of keeping up with the, oh no. Really
Perfect
doing
angles.
Such a good job.
Perfect angles. Storm going to pull another one right here. Gotta say, this is not the time to pull ultimates. Especially
I feel like you're
solo
also
right there.
I feel like you're getting off the Pharah though here. You don't need it. Oh, the shatter. Good grip though. Gets him out of there.
Wall up. Wall's not going to live for very long, even with an Ana boosting you up on the backside. Storm now switching on over. I'm not against this. This is an incredibly medium range composition until you start talking about James. Tuna from on high sends a couple down right here, but that's not going to be enough.
No, I do think that is the right call. Like you said, it's a more medium range. You can still play in with the Reinhardt. You can still control a lot of the space with the Sojourn in her field. but I do think that it is just the right. It was the right read. You don't need the far after that. I think the other thing that picked up across from them, though, for the Pirates, is Tally Ho ended up on the Ana themselves, and I think that is the correct pick. Even though it wasn't going to find them value here for this fight, I think it is the right pick. You need to find some way to stop, you know, the bleeding. We're going to commit Annihilation here.
That's, yeah, also not a great idea here, committing ultimates. Too. That's going to be the last of the ultimates here on the side for Kamas Paper Makers. Not able to get out of the source of danger is Dragoon, excuse me. And this is going to be a tough fight back, I got to say. 95, 96 to Nano Boost right here. Toon will have their Bastion ultimate soon. What are we looking at here, Sohav?
I mean, we're looking at last fight. It's a minute 20 on the clock. I do see that there is a Reaper ult. We pulled up the Maga here, which I do think gives you a lot more self-sustain. I mean, there are tools to win this. I think the window from Karma and this, and this Reaper ult could be huge.
There's a purple on both sides, though. The bunch it takes against the John R. Rogers offensive squad. Now whipping this one around. I think just simply, we take our John R. Rogers squad, and you take all 4 members not named Dragoon, and you put them together, and you have them roll down the front while Dragon is shadow stepping in the back. This is a completely different scenario.
Yeah, they do have time for one more. Thankfully, they kind of got in and out quick. They'll have a quick regroup. So again, like you said, I want to see Dragon just hit a flanks, get into position, drop in, take the solo. There's no shame in getting a solo Death Blossom here. As long as you get a support, I think you're in a great spot, and it should be relatively easy. Yeah, there's one.
There's one, there's two. Sergeant James finding one. That's going to be, a little MOG action there on the end, but another TK, and there's the bell. 10 seconds to go without switches. There's TNH going to be coming out with that Lucio. Might be able if they hit all of their wall bounces. Not going to happen. Oh, no, it is. Excuse me.
They
it just dies immediately, yeah.
Yeah, there's not going to be anybody else following behind, though, and that's the unfortunate part of it. But it was a solid push. You know, you still managed to break through, so you have a win con if you're the Pirates. You know, maybe it wasn't as perfect as you want. You tried to you're still finding answers, I think, is the other part to this. And, you know, you kind of already know how the puzzle goes. You've already seen this. You know, all the pieces that you saw across from you, you saw last map. You saw what they're looking for. You know James is going to be picking up the Reinhardt. He's feeling himself right now. So it kind of now just becomes a point of you have to almost match it. You have to almost, you know, give him the Reinhardt duel that he's probably dying to have right now. Let your DPS just try to win, and let your supports just support your tanks in the front line. Let it get brawly and meet them where they want to be. It's probably your best chance, because right now what you've tried to do hasn't quite worked, and at this point it's kind of your last shot. Maybe you can force James into errors to capitalize on for this. That's kind of what you got. They will bring out the Maga again. We did swap over. Tally Ho is going to pick up the Junkrat here. An interesting change of pace. I do like the Junkrat. It's very bursty. This is a high damage comp. Very bursty. It's a very high damage comp, so they are looking to try to...
That's a really good point, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Like just burst damage all over the place.
Yeah, they're just trying to get this in one, and you can see it because they're very all in also with the Moira. Kiriko is a very high damage as long as you can hit those headshots with Karma. I really do like it. On the attack, though, you know what's coming. You know there's going to be a Pharah. Pharah is here. It'll be a Pharmacy in the sky and a 3-man hit squad on the ground. And that is a very mobile hit squad. You know, there's no Lucio, but, you know, that Cassidy will hit those shots, and he is well defended.
Yeah, that's a good point. Zev, really the only one who's going to be able to give flak from on high. Storm getting so low right there. Got the Mercy in the pocket. That's a secure feel indeed. Two bursty explosive characters. Junkrat and Farah. Well, one has a vertical advantage. You know how that one's going to go. Yeah. Almost the first team kill bell against the side of John R. Rogers. We're not going to get that one. James getting mega aggressive. Here, probably just getting into a corner and looking for a charge.
Yeah, we're going to play for any picks we can give, but Storm is going to beat him to it. And I think that's the real story here, is that Storm, again, just continues to kind of go uncontested. Swaps come in, we'll get the Orisa and the Soldier to try to fight it. I do like these changes. I don't know that we're going to be able to contest it. We really have to hit those shots, and we really have to be able to get the 2v1 in the sky. And we can't do that if James is just taking out both of those answers.
Yeah, and we'll Soy right there. I don't think that they noticed that there was players behind right there. I think they're just trying to give a little bit of flack up front and kind of discourage these players from coming in. Cannot presently read minds and make casting much easier if we're going to be honest, Soav, but I believe that was the intention there.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm looking at this positioning. The Pharmacy is playing the front line. The Rhine has the high ground. They are playing with the expectation that they're – oh, my gosh. Storm is just having a field day right now. Oh, what a beautiful rocket. Jeez, this player has – Storm has absolutely just put the time into Pharah, and it shows. That's so many directs. Yeah, they are controlling the map space, and that is what a good team – that is what a winning team does. That is a championship team maneuver, is to control the space, to know where you need to be and what you need to take control of, and how do you support your carry player like Storm. Yeah, this is exactly what they wanted.
Brutal. Dragon going off the side right there, unfortunately, as well. Cassidy looking for something. No targets found. Not a target-rich environment. As they say, 2 meters away, and Kamas, man, this was a brutal matchup right here. Kamas shows, how they made it to the, not just the state championship, but winning that state championship last year, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, look, I said I wanted to see a statement. I wanted them to sell me on them and show me that they still got it in the next season. Man, they showed up. They showed up at Tugboat. They showed up, and they absolutely showed me exactly why they won, exactly why they're going to continue to win, and what they want to do going into this. That, to me, looks like a team that has said, look, we are going to keep practicing, we're going to keep winning, and we are going to go into this playoff segment 8-0, and we are not going to let anybody stop us. And that is a great just look at those team. That squad has really got all of its pieces together. They know the comps that's strong for them, and that is exactly why they were the champions.
Yeah, only a few teams with records such as these two. One of them no longer has a perfect one. Kamas had fantastic composition all the way through, and the coordination really was there. There were a couple small mistakes. Again, John R. Rogers, they have all the skills with which to pay the bills. It's just about coordinating it like a little bit more. Again, not to focus on one little thing too much, right? But a perfect encapsulation of my point here. What would be the very last part before I really just kind of, got into a runaway a little bit. And that was Soy coming up for what should have been the last fight. Come forth, try to get a little bit of damage, try to get a javelin on into somebody, but it wasn't quite paying attention to the main tank, and I believe a healer as well, who was sitting on the point right around the other side of the wall. You come up, you give them a little bit of flack, but then you got to come back and you got to regroup with your team to fight this at a full 5. The greatest news here, of course, Soav, is that these are very, very easy mistakes to correct, right? It's just as simple as just scrimming a little bit more and just avoiding kind of that tunnel vision that you get sometimes, and I myself get as well. And even with worse heroes like Lucio, because you can't just chase down people and get kills unless they're basically already won. As it is, I think this is John R. Rogers' squad. They're not 3-0 coming into this. They were not 3-0 by mistake. It's just cleaning up those edges a little bit.
Yeah, and it's easy to get really flustered if your game one doesn't go the way you think you're going to. And like you said, I was a tank player, so I get it. Sometimes you want to go aggressive, but you got to make sure you communicate, and you got to hear and respond to what your backline is saying. You got to stop and hear, look, we're getting focused out. You're too deep. You got to be able to follow those communications. And that's as easy as putting in a couple extra bit of scrims, making sure you listen, making sure the comms are clear, and those can continue to go. If you end up going 7-1, that's not the worst thing in the world here.
Entirely fair. Well, I would look forward to a rematch of these two if we see a little postseason action between them. And even with the single loss, John R. Rogers is still looking in fantastic position for that postseason push. I do believe that's going to be about it from us. First two right here. I want to give a shout out to an organization again that makes this possible. It is Seattle Built PCs. There's ultra performance, one-of-a-kind aesthetics, while still retaining that small business value, folks. If you're looking for individual PC parts to put in yourself, or if you're like me and you don't trust yourself with these very, very expensive PC parts, some of which cost thousands of dollars, well, I got some good news for you. Seattle Built PCs, they can work on this, and they can do the whole pre-built thing and ship it out to you, again, anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. We got confirm on that off their website a little while ago, folks. Seattle Built PCs is the way to do it. If you guys enjoyed what you heard, then obviously follow away Landfest and WSSEA, as well as your casters. Oh, I did the wrong side again. As well as your casters right here at FBI Tugboat, at Soavdanum, SOAVDANNOM, as well as big shout out that we're going to have some not Street Fighter 4 at 6 p.m., Street Fighter 6 at 4 p.m. That's Pacific time, and that is tomorrow as well, folks. That's going to be it for us on the broadcast here today. Soav, do you have anything else for the good people before we do bid them adieu?
No, I'm just going to give you a second to catch your breath before you send us out, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys for watching. Very much excited for the rest of what the WSSEA holds. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. Again, Street Fighter 6, 4 p.m. Thanks you guys for watching. We'll catch you then.
Take care.